Yo, this is going to be demonstrating a tech. I'm going to call it the Archangel. We used to call it Arch-GA, but that's just, it's an awful pun. So from now on, this is Archangel tech. Okay, ready? Here's what it looks like.
You call it?
And how you do it is you crouch, and then you let go of crouch, and press GA almost immediately afterward. You don't want it at the same time. You want the GA after, but you do want the GA very quickly afterward. So that gives you an arch shape as opposed to going straight, or as opposed to the L that the normal super jump, I think it's called, gives you. If you didn't know, this L shape, is done by pressing crouch into GA. So like going down, and then the arch is when you let go of crouch. So you can do super jump just by holding down the crouch button. I'm on a controller, so it's B. Whereas the arch, you literally do have to tab it. Or if you're on like toggle, where is toggle? It should be like right here. Yeah, if you have toggle on, you would have to press B twice, and so you should definitely have that off, especially if you're playing in comp, because it's just inconvenient unless you have like a broken button, I suppose. I don't see why you wouldn't want to crouch twice as often. You could like hear my mashing.
Heroes never die.
Oh, sorry.
My skills are still needed.
So I'm gonna demonstrate some niche uses along with the main use for it. They're like weird quirks of the whole thing. So Archangel, first of all, you get more charge.
I'm here to support.
It's just like the super jump. You get more time to charge than you would just going straight. However, what's really interesting about it is you have more time to release it. If you let's say, okay, so this one, objectively better for gaining height. This one, objectively better for gaining distance, I think, because you get time to walk before you activate the GA. And this allows you, here's a good spot, this allows you to avoid ceilings by giving you a small margin of error to walk and then use your GA. That's what I mainly use the walking for. It's not a huge amount, especially if you're close, but it is there. It gives you just enough time to undercut any ceiling and get there. If only I was better at demonstrating, but yeah. Additionally, if you're above a target, it gives a lot of time to just decide where to go. I'm going to sit right here on this edge so it's consistent. Super jump. You get a little hop. You do get a lot of time. With arch, you just sit there slow, and then you can release it. And it's just a shit ton of time to like decide where to go. Maybe you bait someone who's like waiting for you to GA dash, and you just take half a second longer, so they like look at you, and then you start, and then it's whatever. So that's a niche case. Higher elevation's a niche case. And there's a third niche case where if you have a pharah or an echo above you, using the arch will basically make you hit a ceiling. It's inconsistent, but usually it's better than just using the normal GA or super jump, because you hover at the top of your arch, of your the peak of your guardian angel for less time, and so that gives people less time to shoot you. Especially because that's where they're waiting to aim. If you have a Cassidy or a Widow, they're waiting for you to slow down at the peak of the jump, because that takes the least amount of energy. It's just like a slow little pop up. And if you do this, sometimes they can hit that little stop, but mostly it's just like a break or like an instant fall downwards. And because you're not using your GA dash, you get the small cooldown, you can just repeat it. As long as pharah doesn't go too high. If pharah goes too high, then, I mean, you'll have to stay up by gliding and dashing to her, but, yeah. So, those are 3 niche cases. Here's the main thing. Combining it with Slingshot. I think it's Slingshot, right? Or Bunny Hop Tech, either way. So, B-Hop Tech, if you didn't know, you GA to someone, you let go of GA, and then you press jump. And as long as you didn't jump beforehand, you will get a buffer jump, and it will keep your speed, because you jumped on the first frame and touched the ground, as opposed to doing it late, where you keep absolutely nothing. And so, the reason this works is that the game has a universal buffer. If you press jump, and you hold jump, nothing happens. If you walk off an edge, or like use a movement ability that doesn't involve a jump button, then holding the button will guarantee a jump on the first frame. It's just a quirk of Overwatch. And if you combine this with these different trajectories, you can get different techs. So you just have Slingshot, which is straight. You combine it with the L, the super jump, and you get slightly more speed because there's less airtime. And it's also the most consistent, it's easiest. If you fly, like, say, upwards, you're closest to the ground still. Maybe not that high, but like on somebody who's on a small ledge above you, you can still Slingshot using this one because you're closer. And then the Arch. So, the Arch is a very wacky Slingshot. And what happens is you have to time the jump, but if you time the jump, it's probably the best overall. So, these just move straight. Arch, hold on. Let me get good at this. So, Arch, you go up and down, and it makes it a lot harder to hit you. It can be done super consistently too, I'm just not great. So if somebody's trying to snipe you, your head's going up and down, and that means they take more energy. Now, if they're really good at the game, that's not going to matter. They're like cracked out of their brains, they got their coffee, they're in the zone, they're scoped in, and they're just going to go wop wop! Like super fast flick, pop pop, pop pop, pop, and you're gonna be dead whether you're doing that or not. That's why at top ranks, I think Mercies just avoid LOS entirely. But for any other rank, the majority of players, you use the Arch, it's gonna be a lot harder to hit you, especially because with the B-hop, you're like changing your vertical height each time, and then you're going into a crouch to repeat the tap again. So it's basically like a triple step. You go like one large arc, one smaller arc, and then your character just dips down and repeats. And because of the higher air time, as long as you time it instead of gliding, you can carry your speed, as long as you don't go too high. And with the higher air time, your cooldown will be almost up. You'll have less cooldown compared to the other ones relative to your speed. You'll have less time like spent walking around doing nothing. And so, yeah, it's slightly better for that. If you can just get good at doing this consistently, uncrouch, boom, I go crouch, oh wait, I go crouch, GA, tap jump. You want to tap jump just before you touch the ground, by the way. The buffer still applies, but your glide won't slow you down if there's not enough time for you to activate the glide in the first place. So it's kind of weird because you want to hold it down and then let go as soon as you touch the ground. But yeah, high skill tech, it's especially good because Mercy needs more high skill tech. And you can combine it. If you glide, you can just break in midair, and it's really good. And if you time it right, you can go like pretty much full speed. Maybe not as consistently full speed as this one, but it's still really good, and you're really hard to hit, and you have high GA uptime. You're a lot harder to hit. You do juke, whoop, and take half a second to adjust, whoop, and then now you're back here. It's really good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the explanation. This will be me. This tech is now called Archangel tech, okay? There is absolutely, I will not hear any objections to this. It is Archangel. It is too good of a pun to pass up, alright? Alright. No, we're good. We're good.